गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे। सर्वशास्त्र पीयूषा सर्ववेदैक सत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरात्नाद्या सर्वलोकैक दृक्प्रदा सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभो कलिध्वंतोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता Paramananda-pathaya prema-varshakshārayate sarvada sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya namostume Madeka-bandho mad-sangin mad-guru man-mahadana manishtarka mad-bhagya madananda namostute Asādhu sādhu tādāin atinicho chatakara hanamuncha kadāchin mam premna hritkantayosvura Om namo bhagavate vāsudevāya Om namo bhagavate vāsudevāya Om namo bhagavate vāsudevāya So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, entitled The Lord in the Heart, text 24. Vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko atha harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakraṁ nṛpa śaiśumāram prayāti cakraṁ nṛpa śaiśumāram vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakraṁ nṛpa śaiśumāram vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakraṁ nṛpa śaiśumāram vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ Vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram Anaram yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram. Ladies. Vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram. Vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram. Vaiśvānaraṁ yāti vihāyasā gataḥ suṣumṇayā brahma-pathena śociṣā vidhūta-kalko harer udastāt prayāti cakram nṛpa śaiśumāram. Vaiśvānaraṁ, the controlling deity of fire. Yāti, goes. Vihāyasā, by the path in the sky, the Milky Way. The Milky Way. Gataḥ, by passing over. Suṣumṇayā, by the Suṣumṇā. Brahmaloka. Pathena, on the way to. śociṣā, illuminating. Vidhūta, being washed off. Kalkaḥ, dirt. Atha, thereafter. Hareḥ, of Lord Hari. Udastāt, upwards. Prayāti, does reach. Cakram, circle. nṛpa, O king. śaiśumāram, named Śiśumāra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. O king, when such a mystic passes over the Milky Way by the illuminating Suṣumṇā to reach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, he goes first to Vaiśvānara, the planet of the deity of fire, wherein he becomes completely cleansed of all contaminations. And thereafter, he still goes higher to the circle of Śiśumāra to relate with Lord Hari, the Personality of Godhead. Purport. The polar star of the universe and the circle thereof is called the Śiśumāra circle, and therein the local residential planet of the Personality of Godhead, Kishor, Vishnu, is situated. Before reaching there, the mystic passes over the Milky Way to reach Brahmaloka, and while going there he first reaches Vaiśvānara, where the demigod controls fire. On Vaiśvānara, the yogi becomes completely cleansed of all dirty sins acquired while in contact with the material world. The Milky Way and the sky is indicated herein as the way leading to Brahmaloka, the highest planet of the universe. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Śrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Śrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Shukadeva Goswami starts describing how, here in this verse, starts describing how the yogi goes gradually to Brahmaloka and beyond. Beyond means to the spiritual world. Technically this is called in Sanskrit krama mukti, step by step. Here, this is the first step described. In the verses 15 to 21, the immediate mukti was described. It's called sadhya mukti. It's immediate because the yogi is completely pure. So immediate mukti is possible. So this section starts with the verse 22. So in the verse 21, immediate liberation. One is completely free from all desires for material enjoyment. And then when he reaches the cerebral hole here and give up his material connections, he goes back to the Supreme. But if yāti, if a yogi maintains a desire for improved material enjoyments like transference to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, or the achievements of the eightfold perfections, travel in outer space with vihāyasas, or situation in one of the millions of planets, then he has to take away with him the materially molded mind and senses. So the idea is that if there are impurities with the yogi, he's not pure, he has different desires. They may not be very gross, but subtle. He wants to know this, he wants to go to the Brahmaloka, experience some mystic perfections. Then it's still material. It's more subtle, it's not gross, it's not sex desire, which is gross, but it's subtle, but still material desire. So one has to get free from even that. So by going from, again, from the body, then he goes through the universe, on the tour of the universe. And as we will see, there are some stops are described. Here's one, the first one, Vaiśvānara. So the deity of fire, so the planet of the deity of fire. Now let's take the help of Sridhara Swami and again go through this the verse. Of course, Prabhupada gives the gist, but there's maybe some details here which may help us to understand what's going on. So here he starts with 8 verses describing up to the verse 31 how the yogi gradually goes to the spiritual world. So he goes to Brahmaloka and beyond, by the way of Milky Way, you can say akashena vihāyasā. Vihāyasā goes to the sky. And the first stop is Vaiśvānara, where the deity Agni is presiding. So, and how he goes. Now this is the word suṣumṇayā. By the Suṣumṇā nādi. Nādi, it's a energy channel, you can say. Yogis know about it. Ayurveda also acknowledges this. And the Suṣumṇā is the main nadi which goes through the central of the body. This is the way it was described, from anus up to the head, and this is the cerebral spine. This is this Suṣumṇā. So what does it say? So he goes out of the body with the help of Suṣumṇā, this nadi. That's what it is described here, suṣumṇayā. So this is how he goes. This is the vehicle. This is how the soul and the subtle body goes. And this is illuminated. śociṣā is illuminating. This nadi is illuminating, and here in the Śiśumāra region, because it's a fiery region, the yogi is completely cleansed of, it says kalkaḥ, sins, all the impurities. It's said that it's not just the sins, it's also punya, because we know even punya, they will bind us here. So it says sins, but it means also punya. So here, yogi becomes cleansed of, you'd say, most of the impurities, because he's still in the material world. So he must be still, there's some subtle impurities there. But the main bulk of the impurities is put in the fire here. It's just yeah. So, what do you do in a fire? Burn away. And then he goes further. Udastāt. Beyond that, he goes to śaiśumāra. And this is stars which are connected to Lord Hari. They are presided by, or at least the pulsar is presided by Narayana. And Sridhara Swami says that more about this is described in the 5th chapter, not 5th chapter, 5th canto, and specifically 23rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we may read a little bit from the 23rd chapter of the 5th canto, where Shukadeva Goswami says, my dear king, 1,300,000 yojanas above the planets of the 7 sages is the place that learned scholars describe as the abode of Lord Vishnu. So this is our śaiśumāra. There the son of Maharaj Uttanapada, the great devotee Maharaj Dhruva, still resides as the life source of all the living entities who live until the end of the creation. Agni, Indra, Prajapati, Kashyapa, Dharma all assemble there to offer him honor and respectful obeisances. They circumambulate him with their right sides toward him. I already described the glorious activities of Maharaj Dhruva. That's in the 4th canto. Yeah, so the plan of Maharaj Dhruva is the pole star. Is the main planet which consists of the śaiśumāra. Established by the supreme will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the pole star, which is the planet of Maharaj Dhruva, constantly shines as the central pivot for all the stars and planets. The unsleeping, invisible, most powerful time factor causes the luminaries to revolve around the pole star without cessation. So, indeed, the Dhruva Maharaj achieved the topmost position in the universe because everybody has to go around. All the demigods, everybody revolves around the pole star with all their planets. When bulls are yoked together and tied to a central post to thresh rice, they thread around that pivot without deviating from their proper positions. One bull being closest to the post, another in the middle, and third on the outside. Similarly, all the planets and all the hundreds and thousands of stars revolve around the pole star, the planet of Maharaj Dhruva, in their respective orbits, some higher and some lower, fastened by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the machine of material nature, according to the results of their fruitive acts. They are driven around the pole star by the wind and will continue to be so until the end of creation. These planets float in the air within the vast sky, just as clouds within hundreds of tons of water float in the air, or as the great Shiena eagles, due to the results of past activities, fly high in the sky and have no chance of falling to the ground. Okay, this great machine. Now, the explanation of why this is called Śiśumāra. This great machine, consisting of the stars and planets, resembles the form of Śiśumāra, dolphin. And the dolphin, Śiśumāra in the water, dolphin in the water. It is sometimes considered an incarnation of Krishna, Vasudeva. Great yogis meditate upon Vasudeva in this form because it is actually visible. So that therefore it says, harer śiśumāram. It's his śiśumāra. It's connected to Lord Hari. So, okay, so just to get some idea, you can, if you want to know more, read more from the chapter 23. So this is the start. This is the start of the journey. Then the yogi will go to Mahaloka. It's not described that he'd go to Janaloka or Tapoloka, but we believe that this is skipped because it's a short, it's not everything is described. It's a summary of how the yogi goes to Satyaloka. So you may say, why this is described? This is not the most, it's not what we preach. We usually do not preach about, you should go to this nadi and then go up, and but this describes still. One may ask, why is this described? So Shukadeva Goswami actually starts, when he speaks about pure devotional service. He's not speaking about any yogic process, but not everyone is ready for pure devotional service. Many are attracted to yoga, yogic perfection. This, we hear that in Satya Yuga, the process of the chanting of the holy names is available always at all times. It's always effective, most effective. But the people in Satya Yuga, they find this too simple. What is this? Hare Krishna. You do something more elaborate. So you do meditation, and you see that it's there's so many details to that. It's complex. But for us in Kali Yuga, we actually have no other chance. Yoga, fine for to keep the body fit. It's fine, but as a means to attain the supreme, difficult, very difficult. So another reason why Shukadeva Goswami is describing this is to test Parikshit. He tells him this is the thing here about the Lord, just chant his names. And then he also says, yeah, but the yogi goes like this. Test. It's Guru tests his disciple. Are you really interested in the real thing, or you want something close to the real thing? Because actually, the yogi, by this path, he goes to the spiritual world. It's not a direct path, but it's there. He attains the supreme. Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami, so Mriyamanasya kim kartavyam? This is like summarized by Chakravarti, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What is one who is about to die, who is dying? What is he supposed to do? What is his duty? So all that he describes, this is for the people who are about to die. Also this. But so he's asking, Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nirvi prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yadva viparyayam. So explain what man should hear, chant, remember, worship. What should one not do? Also important. Please explain all this to me. So now Shukadeva Goswami is explaining. So after so this goes to this, you can say, small section of of krama mukti, how yogi goes beyond this material world to spiritual realm. Goes to the verse 31, and then Shukadeva Goswami will say that so what I explained to you, you asked me, so therefore I'm replying. So this is we explain now what were the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. So I'm explaining this. This is according to the Vedas. I'm not making this up. This is explain. He doesn't say exactly, but this is explained in the Upanishads. So, and also this was described personally by Lord Krishna unto Brahma, with whom the Lord was satisfied upon being properly worshipped. So this is proper. I'm not making this up at all. But still, then he'll say, in verse 33, for those who are wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspicious means of deliverance than what is aimed at in the direct devotional service of Lord Krishna. Now, Shukadeva Goswami comes to his original point. Maybe one of the reasons, of course, we explained that not everybody is ready for pure devotional service. Some are interested in yoga. And also, what this gives us is a contrast to devotional service as we know it. Harinam Sankirtan. We may get more inspired to take up the simple bhakti yoga, simple prescribed by Shukadeva Goswami and all the acharyas. Prabhupada makes this contrast in the purport to verse 30, where he will describe chanting of the holy name. So Bhakti Yoga in general, and more specifically chanting of the holy name. So he is here describing or paraphrasing one section from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is very well known. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains to Rupa Goswami about devotional service, and it starts with Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva. Everybody has heard this many times. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So this example of Bhakti Lata, of the creeper of devotional service, is given. How this creeper, first we get a seed by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, and then it starts to grow. Mali hoya kore sai bija aropan shravan kirtan jole kore shechan. When a person receives the seed of devotional service, he should take care of it by becoming a gardener and sowing the seed in his heart. If he waters the seed gradually by the process of shravan and kirtan, hearing and chanting, the seed will begin to sprout. So here we have a seed in the heart which begins to sprout. And we are compared to gardeners who are taking nice care of creepers, and here our creeper is Bhakti Lata. Upajya bare lata brahmanda bhedi jai viraja brahmaloka bhedi paravyoma pai. As one waters the Bhakti Lata bij, the seed sprouts and the creeper gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the walls of the universe and goes beyond the Viraja river, lying between the spiritual world and the material world. It attains Brahmaloka, the Brahman effulgence, and penetrating through the stratum, it reaches the spiritual sky and the spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavan. So this is also a very scientific process of gardening the devotional creeper. And then now the creeper goes to beyond Viraja and goes to the spiritual world. Tobe jai tad upari goloka vrindavan Krishna charan kalpa vrikke kore arohan. Being situated in one's heart and being watered by Shravan Kirtan, the Bhakti creeper grows more and more, and this way it attains the shelter of the desire tree of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is eternally situated in the planet known as Golok Vrindavan, in the topmost region of spiritual sky. So this gardening is very easy, just hearing and chanting about Krishna, and we attain Krishna. Tahan vistarita hoya pole prem fall. Ihan mali sheche nitya shravanadi jal. The creeper gradually expands in the Goloka Vrindavan planet, and there it produces the fruit of love for Krishna. Although remaining in the material world, the gardener regularly sprinkles the creeper with the water of hearing and chanting. You can still remain in the material world, but your consciousness is the Goloka Vrindavan consciousness. Jodi Vaishnava parade utte hatimata upareva chinde tarashuki jai pata. And now the danger is very easy, but there's some problems can be there on the way, some obstacles. If the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up. Tate mali jatna kore avaron aparada hastir jaiche na hoy udgam. The gardener must defend the creeper by fencing it all around so that the powerful elephant of offenses may not enter. Kintu jodi lotar sange ute upashakha bhukti mukti vancha jota asankya tare lekha. Sometimes unwanted creepers, as the creepers of desires for material enjoyment and liberation from the material world, grow along with the creeper of devotional service. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. So, devotional service is very easy if we perform it properly. And the results are immediate. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it said, one Krishna name gives us love of Krishna. And prema is one. Amazing. But then the symptoms of prema also, sveda kampa pulaka, the gadgada shrudars, everything is with one name, just comes with one name. But Heno Krishnam jodi loy bahu bar tobe jodi prem nahe nahe ashrudar tobe jani aparade tahate prachur. Krishna Nam Bij Tare Na Kore Prachur. Krishna Nam Bij Tare Na Kore Ankur. So if there's just one problem, then we must be infested with aparadas. If there's no, if prema doesn't appear while chanting one Krishna's name, then aparadas. So important. So Prabhupada gives us this while taking initiation. It's the part of the ceremony is the for those who take the Harinam initiation. Actually, it's for everyone. The lecture on the 10 offenses. Why? Know the enemy, so you can avoid it. Very important. It's a basic, like so basic. Offenses, okay. It's okay. All right. We chant. No problem of it. But it's a problem. It is a problem. And no matter how smart we are, we may make so many smart analysis, this and that. But we have to be really introspect. We have to introspect, see what's within, what are our attitudes, what's the problem, why we are not experiencing love of Godhead immediately. What's the problem? The problem must be inside, it's not outside. And that's a good news, because if it's inside, then we can deal with it. If it's outside, sometimes it's beyond our capability of doing anything. Things are just going on. If a storm comes, what you'll do? Nothing. Just somehow or other shelter. But if the problem is within, then we can work on it. So a few more problems, obstacles on the way are described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nishidachar kutinati jiva himsan la puja pratishtha adi jata upashakagan. Some unnecessary creepers growing with the bhakti creeper are the creepers of behavior, unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection. Diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. So these things or behaviors, they would say they're not unknown to the Vaishnava society, right? So it comes along. It's described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and yes, we would like that this wouldn't be there or be here with us, in us, but it's there. So we have to know that this is the unwanted creep. These are the unwanted creepers. This is not the creeper. These are not the creepers that will take us back to the spiritual. It's just bhaktilata. Bhaktilata goes to Golok Vrindavan, and these are just making some bushes, jungles around the real thing, bhaktilata. So Sekajol Paya Upashaka Barijai Stabda Hoya Mula Shaka Baritena Pai. If one does not distinguish between the bhakti creeper and the other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misused because the other creepers are nourished while the bhakti creeper is curtailed. Pratame upa shakar koroy chedan, tobe mul shaka bari jai brindavan. As soon as an intelligent devotee sees an unwanted creeper growing beside the original creeper, he must cut it down instantly. Then the real creeper, the bhakti lata, grows nicely, returns home back to Godhead, and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. So, intelligent devotee. Prabhupada nicely translates this. As soon as an intelligent devotee sees an unwanted creeper, he chops it. So, how do we see that? Again, it's introspection. We have to be a little introspectful. Otherwise, it's not possible, because these things naturally come. It's natural to us to be in Maya. So, even while trying to be Krishna conscious, we'll still have layers of Maya, and some of these unwanted things, they come along with the progress in devotional service. You get some, you're doing nicely chanting, then you get some respect, maybe some position, and then la puja, pratishta, and so on. So these things should not bewilder us. We should stay focused. We should know who we are. We are eternal servant of Krishna, das, anudas. Even if we get some success in devotional service, we may chant our 16 rounds or more and follow 4 regular principles. This is not the end of the road. This is our vehicle. This is our suṣumṇā. But just stay on the path, and should not be diverted. Shukadeva Goswami is actually pointing out to this. He's saying that do devotional service. How? Kirtan. Kirtan is the most important. So this is the verse where he says it, 2:1:11. Important verse. Etan nirvidyamananam ichchatam akuto bhayam yoginam nṛpa nirnitam harer namanukirtanam. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities, the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. This is for everyone, and this is the best. Constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities. So, harer nama, eva kir valam kalau nasteva, gatira neta. One verse of a Vaishnava poet, as from Rupa Goswami's Padyavali, is saying something similar. Brahmandanam koti samkhyadikanam aishwaryam yat chetana vayadamshaha avirbhutam tam mahakrishna nama tam sadyam sadhanam jivanam cha. So he says that the glory of Krishna's name is so big, is so huge, enormous, that the opulence and knowledge of the innumerable, of actually millions and millions of Brahmandas, means universes, hardly compares to one portion of the glory of Krishna's name. So knowing that, I make this holy name as my sadhya, as my goal, and its sadhana is my practice. So, and therefore it is jivanam, it's my life. So this is what we what we really this is the conclusion, which that's how we practice the devotional service. We understand the importance of the holy name, and we know that it's none different from Krishna. And as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna nam dhore kotobo. It's in the 25th chapter of Jaiva Dharma, the last. It's the concluding song, and he speaks there 3 chapters about the holy name, the process of chanting. What are the obstacles, the aparadas they described, and because this is the main sadhana. Before that he's describing the dashamula, the 10 tenets, main tenets of the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, and sadhana is Shuddha Bhakti. It's pure devotional service, our sadhana, and sadhya is priti, is love of Godhead. And of course there are many, you may say there's different sadhanas within Shuddha Bhakti, but the chanting of the holy name is the most important. So he gives an extra puts an extra emphasis on the chanting of the holy name. So actually Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur does this everywhere, and Srila Prabhupada also. Actually, it's very significant that we, the followers of Krishna consciousness movement or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are called Hare Krishnas. It's really, this is the blessing of Srila Prabhupada actually, because he made us chant Hare Krishna always. So how do people relate to us? Oh, these are Hare Krishnas. It's great. If we don't remember what we are supposed to do, the people say, oh, you're Hare Krishna. Yeah, actually I'm Hare Krishna. I'm supposed to be chanting and be happy. This is what we are supposed to give to others. Sometimes we forget. We are, in our own cloud, problems. But this is the way. So the holy name will give us everything. It starts from complete mess of material desires, and then when this gets purified, it gives us a love of Godhead, our Sita Deha, everything, a relationship with the Lord, everything is there, just by the power of chanting. So, so we should really diligently chant our rounds. And, this is it's sacred, it's very sacred. Then we pull out our beads and we chant. And then all these things, being free from offenses and Trinada, peace of nature, and all this should come. We should be aware of all that when we chant. At least we can, recite the prayers or something to remind us, not just plunge, that's fine, but that's the next level. When we are just chanting, we cannot do anything but chant, even if we do something else. But most of us are not on that level yet. So in Christianity there's one saying I don't know how you should not just speak Krishna's holy name, God's name, in vain, not just like that. You should remember. Of course, the glory of holy name is so great that even in vain is fine, and there's also shlokas for that. But the real effect will come when we really know what we're doing, and then the purity will come. today is the end of Katyayana Vrata. Gopis attain Krishna as their husband unofficially, because they cannot marry officially, because this will break the rasa, parakya rasa they have with Krishna. But Krishna took very seriously their prayers to Katyayani, to Durga. They wanted him as the husband, and when they, at the end, for 1 month they did very diligently this vrata, eating only havishyana, is just rice and dal, cooked with nothing. Mung dal, yeah. If you ever tried that for many health reasons, or maybe you did, Katyayana vrata, it's not palatable. It's just to keep the body and soul together. And other things which go with that vrata. So when the gopis went to take bath in the Yamuna, and they took off their clothes, went to bathe naked, as Prabhupada says is the customary, as a custom. So Krishna took their clothes and said, okay, you can come out and take the clothes. Gopis externally protested, like internally they were happy. Still, they came out, they're still covering their intimate parts, and Krishna made an excuse, said, oh, you're bathing here without clothes, you're offending the god of waters. So you have now to take forgiveness from him, and you have to make pranam, you have to put your palms together like this, supplication, and beg forgiveness. Of course, they couldn't cover their private parts anymore, so they were completely naked. In this province, it's only a husband can see a naked lady. It's not for anyone else. So in this way, he accepted them as their wives unofficially, and he said, next year I will fulfill your desires. That's in rasa dance. So and this process of Harinam Sankirtan can lead us to be a part of that group, a fortunate group of the gopis who can associate intimately with Krishna. So harer nama eva kevalam kaluna asteva nasteva gattiranyatha.